Anthony has finally decided to sign with the Houston Rockets. So how will he do with this new squad? What is going on, y'all? 5 Sports All back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA to talk about one, Carmelo Anthony, who we all expected, who I've been saying for weeks, really months now, that he is going to go to the Houston Rockets. Finally agrees to a deal with the Rockets. Now let's talk about the fit. Let's talk about how he's going to play with the Houston Rockets, how I see this unfolding, and whether or not Melo is in fact an upgrade over the guys that they lost in Trevor Ariza, Luke Richard Mamute, and whatnot. So with that being said, let's get started. First things first, let's talk finances, okay? Carmelo Anthony agreed to a minimum contract, of course, because the Rockets have no salary cap space, and so this was the only way he was able to get to the Rockets, or really any of the top contending teams. Really, he would have had to sign a minimum contract, and that's what he did for about $2.4 million. So that doesn't surprise me there. And Melo is going to be very happy because he's getting paid $28 million from the Atlanta Hawks, so he's basically making $30 million next year, folks, okay? So money's not the issue for Carmelo Anthony, okay? He's getting paid $28 million to not play basketball and $2 million to play basketball, so he's doing quite all right. Let's actually talk about basketball on the court, talk about the fit, because like I said, the finances are now taken care of, okay? And on the court, we take a look at the guys that they lost in Trevor Ariza and Luke Richard Mamute. I'm talking about, of course, the Houston Rockets. Trevor Ariza being their starting small forward, and Luke Richard Mamute being a capable big man off the bench. Now, Mamute, a lot of people made a big deal about him going to the Clippers. That loss, I didn't really see that too much of a big deal for the Rockets because he was hampered the entire playoffs with that shoulder injury. Really couldn't do anything. So they essentially almost beat the Warriors without Mamute, okay? So that's not a big loss. Ariza, on the other hand, okay, that's a pretty decent size loss, okay? This is one of the better 3-and-D guys in the league. And if you take a look at Trevor Ariza and Carmelo Anthony and you take away their names, okay, you just do that and we just look at the numbers, we can see that Carmelo Anthony is a worse version of Trevor Ariza at this stage of his career, okay? And that's a lot for people to take, and people obviously give a lot of pushback because we know what Carmelo Anthony once was, but the fact of the matter is we're dealing with the Carmelo Anthony of now, okay? This is nothing to take away with what Melo has done. This dude is a lock first ballot Hall of Famer. We know that, okay? But at this stage in his career, Carmelo Anthony needs to recommit himself to a couple of things to get back to even being sort of a star, if you will, because we know he's far from that, okay? As a spot-up shooter, yeah, he's going to be what he always is, okay? But what the Rockets need from Carmelo Anthony is to basically replicate the production that Trevor Ariza gave them, okay? So that's not asking a lot from Carmelo Anthony. He averaged 16 points a game last year, so certainly he can still score the ball. But we are talking about, of course, on the defensive end, we are talking about just hitting the open shots. Now, the thing with Carmelo Anthony is last year with the Oklahoma City Thunder, he was essentially a spot-up shooter, but he wasn't very effective. The difference between Russell Westbrook and Paul George is these guys didn't really gel together because it was all of their first year playing. James Harden and Chris Paul have already played together for a year. They've got the chemistry. Now they're bringing in a guy like Melo, so I think they are going to be able to better help him integrate into the offense. And folks, he might start, okay? Like I said, there are not a lot of wings left on this roster. You've got P.J. Tucker. You've got Gerald Green. You've got guys like that. So there is a clear opening at a small forward position, and Carmelo might start, okay? So that's the thing here with Harden and CP3. They can better help integrate him into the offense because of the fact that they've already played together 1 year. You have to remember chemistry takes time, okay? And it's very important if you have a team there that's already got the necessary chemistry. Now, in terms of Carmelo Anthony picking the Rockets, I do think this is a good fit for him to be able to prove basketball-wise that he can still ball. But obviously, if you wanted to win, he could have gone to Golden State, which would have been basically a lock ring, if you will. But maybe he wouldn't have done much because he would have certainly been a bench player for the Warriors. And with the Rockets, like I said, he's got the opportunity to start. So basketball-wise, the fit gives him a bit more opportunity here. Of course, for the Rockets, I always say this about one-year deals. They're never really risk there because it's a one-year deal. It's a minimum contract. So there you have it, folks. So overall, do I think this changes where the Rockets are in the Western Conference? No, I really don't think so. Melo, at this point in his career, he's an atrocious defender. He's a sort of a ball-stopping, wing player, if you will. So unless he recommits himself or changes himself drastically, he is who he is. As long as he can give a little bit of what Trevor Ariza used to give and maybe try a little bit more on the defensive end, that's all the Rockets can ask for. Yes, he is a spot-up shooter now in his career, but I do think the Rockets and Mike D'Antoni and James Harden and Chris Paul can hopefully find a way to revitalize Melo, to be able to utilize him more, and to be able to have him become a better fit in this offense. So overall, still have the Rockets as a top 2-3 team in the Western Conference, but this does not change things that much. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me or disagree with me. Make sure to subscribe as always, and thanks for watching.